Welcome to my channel, Ascension Consciousness. I'm Glacia Rain, intuitive life coach and ascension guide. So, I want to start out really quickly just by touching base on something that is a little bit annoying, I'm sure, for all of us, me especially. So there's somebody that is mimicking me on social media, WhatsApp and Instagram for sure, and I'm not sure what else. But they're soliciting people for sessions and asking for money. That's not me. I don't do that. If you want to get a session with me, you have to go to my website and book it online through a secure payment system. It's all laid out there. There's no, there's nothing funny about it. So I don't message you offering you sessions or discounted sessions or things like that, okay? So please don't give them your money. So that being said, and this happens to a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of tarot readers I've heard. So let's talk about August. This is a really big month we have coming up. We have the Lionsgate portal, which is something that is huge, right? Every year we have this Lionsgate portal. I just want to start out with this because this is what I love about August. So once we finish up this stuff in June, we go through, the summer solstice, and we have the reinvention of ourselves, right? We have our cosmic birthday. So we can go through this reinvention process, and then we can step into this Lionsgate portal and enter into this new level, right? This new level of existence. And in the ascension process, we definitely want to be progressing and connecting more to our light body and into our multidimensional awareness and existence, right? So as we continue shifting into this year is offering us a really large opportunity. So the way that this was shown to me by my higher self is that everybody has the opportunity to walk into this sort of like cosmic library of sorts. And so you get to line up with whatever it is you're vibrationally ready for. You get to see these different pathways laid out in front of you, and then you get to decide which one it is you want to really go into. So if you, in June, you've been working on all these inner issues, you've been wrapping up these loose ends, completing these timelines, taking care of these completions with people even, so like when we have completions with people, that's people that show back up into your timeline. You either make peace with them or whatever it may be, you complete, or something that looks very similar to that will come into your timeline and you make a completion through that by doing something different with it, right? So you have the same situation, a different choice, which makes it a completion, right? So whatever was left open-ended about it gets wrapped up. Okay, so as this Lionsgate portal opens up this opportunity for advancement and evolution for each person, we are all going to notice that it's becoming more and more unique, right? So the new earth living values authenticity and uniqueness and cherishes, being yourself, being your own unique expression. It's not about being a robot or a repeat or a replica or duplicate, right? It's about being your authentic self. So it's also about being present in the moment, but aware of both the past and the future. So knowing that your past and your present and your future are all interconnected, right? And but being aware that in the present moment you have your power there. When you're trying to manifest something, you think about manifestation. It's thought and emotion together, and that you do in the present moment. You feel in the present moment, and you think in the present moment. Now you can take your present moment and think about the past or future, but you're still right there in the present moment, right? Anyways, we're not going to get into that. So these opportunities with the Lionsgate portal, it's going to show us where we can step into our own uniqueness. Now, we've been dealing with these ego struggles and these ego battles for a bit, especially since the solstice. It's been something that we've been having to face individually and as a collective. Who are we? What are we doing? You know, what are we committed to? What do we want for ourselves? What's right for us? What's wrong for us? You know, and the opportunity to explore whatever it is that you choose in your own unique and individual way, as opposed to having to fit in, as that's what we've been doing in the past. We've been really trying to fit in with each other because our survival depended on it. Now, this whole thing going on in the world right now, with everybody's health, has been brought on to scare everybody. And when you're scared, you're in your root chakra, right? When the opportunity to expand into this cosmic consciousness and universal consciousness is in front of you, you don't want to be in your root chakra. You want to be up in here in the upper chakras where you can expand out, and in the high heart chakra where you can align with your passion and pursue your passion, right? So it's really important to pay attention during the month of August, and it always is really, but especially while we're going through these gateways, because you want to know that whatever you're projecting out, you're stepping into. So your energy goes out in front of you, right? Your aura is really big, and you're imprinting the timelines with your energy field and your expression. And so when you're moving through your life, everything that you're emitting, you're basically stepping into. So really paying extra attention and being very aware about where you're letting your vibration go. Now, if you give your attention to something that brings on fear, you're letting your vibration drop, and you're going to go into the root chakra. The root chakra is where fear can get trapped and kind of fester, and then your health starts to decline, and you are susceptible to illness when you're in a state of fear, and you get put into fight or flight, or you may be in some sort of sustained fight or flight, which the immune system really doesn't benefit from at all. And when you're in that fight or flight, you're defensive. And when you're defensive, you perceive things in a way that is kind of threatening. So you start to view the world through a filter of being threatened. And really, when you have the opportunity, like I said earlier, to go through this major upgrade and evolution in your consciousness, you don't want to be viewing everything through the filter of threat, right? You want to view it through the filter of curiosity, of what's possible. So really looking at how these systems are playing with, the control systems are playing with our emotions, they're playing with our minds around what to focus on, which leads us into a certain vibrational patterning that aligns us with certain timelines. So you, though, get to choose whatever it is you want. And the Lionsgate portal is almost like it's like a free pass to shift and realign yourself into what reality you want to, reorient. So it's going to be important to pay attention to what makes you feel alive. So one of the biggest questions that I get in the sessions that I do is, what am I supposed to be doing? And that is something that this is the opportunity to really feel into this and lean into this question and this experience. So what am I meant to be doing? What am I here? What am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? Why am I here? So when you're asking yourself that question and you're feeling into it, notice what things come into your life. So during the month of August, do this. Ask that. Why am I here? What am I meant to be doing? What is my greatest path? And then don't look for the immediate response. Open up to the opportunity to explore it, right? And as you're exploring this through the Lionsgate portal, you're opening into that curiosity. So you're not in that state of fear, right? You're not focused on what the mainstream is telling you or what the fear tactics are. You're focused on your advancement, exploration, and all of that. And of course, being safe and careful with your life, and I don't need to tell you that. As you're exploring with this, open-hearted, light-hearted, you start to generate all these different possibilities. Now that's the whole point of not going right into an answer. When you ask a question like that, what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? What would lead me to my greatest joy? You are opening up an invitation for the universe to align you with an experience and bring into your field and into your awareness an experience that shows you, that demonstrates that. So the universe isn't this voice that's like, hey, go do this. It lines things up and speaks in the form of matter, physical matter, right? It gives you the answer in matter and opportunities and things like that. For the month of August, do that, because really with this powerful gateway that we're going into, and we've already had our identity shaken up all throughout June, right? June and July. Our identity's been shaken up. We're figuring out who we're becoming. We're not who we were. We're not who we're going to become yet. It's like this every year when we have our cosmic birthday at the end of June, or mid-June. And then we go through this kind of rearranging ourselves process, and then we walk through the Lionsgate portal, and then we kind of, step into whatever energies that the end of the year have to offer, or however you want to classify time. I don't know. So with this openness and curiosity, you'll notice when you're in that energy, your body feels more relaxed and you can heal because it's very life-supporting. Not only does it align you with great joy, it also aligns your body with health. When you're in that state of fear and paying attention to things that make you feel afraid and make your body feel threatened, you're more likely to feel bad and get sick, okay? So it's like they're magnetic. Those things belong together. The fear of getting sick and getting sick, they belong together. You can see they're like two sides of the same thing, right? So we're meant to be dissolving our chakras as we evolve, we dissolve our chakras into that unified light body and unified light field that we exist as, right? So when you're in the root chakra and you're creating a lot of fear, you get a lot of fear trapped in the root chakra. And this is what I do in my biofield tuning sessions, is I clear trapped psychic energies like fear out of people's root chakras. It's really amazing that we can do this type of stuff and that these energies exist. We have our physical body, but we have this beautiful energy body that a lot of people don't even understand the anatomy of the energy body and the ways that it can get backed up and blocked, right? So anyways, fear can take up a lot of space in the root chakra, and your root chakra is your health center in the body, and it's your prosperity center. So if you've got a bunch of fear in your prosperity and health center, you're probably going to get sick and not have great luck with your finances, right? So it's really important to, even if it's just during the month of August, these big things, these big fears in your life, what if a volcano erupts, and whatever your major fears may be, right? And I don't mean to laugh at your fears. I don't think it's funny. I tend to laugh and keep things lighthearted that way. Laughter helps me stay light. So suspend those for August, though. Suspend your fears for August and really get focused on what makes you feel alive. So what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel happy? What makes you feel joyful? What makes you want to get up in the morning besides coffee, And for some of you, it is that coffee. I understand. And for others of you, you're like, I don't drink coffee. But the question is still valid. What makes you want to get up and start your day? This is the stuff that we're really shifting into this new earth reality, into living for joy and living for inspiration. And it's not that we won't still be a contribution and there won't still be this amazing society that runs and functions together like we have now. It's that instead of getting up and saying, oh, it's Monday, I hate my life, you get up and it's like, who cares what day it is? I love my life. I get to do all these things that I love. And this is what we're shifting into, to where even if it's something that isn't the most pleasant job, we're learning how to bring love into every single thing. That means we infuse our love into every single thing that we do, so everything becomes an act of love. We live in a beautiful world. So even if you have to say dig a ditch or pick up trash, you know, sometimes when I go for walks, I have a bag, especially if I find a plastic bag. To me, that's an indication to grab the plastic bag and pick up trash. And so I do that, even though, you know, if I said to you, do you want to go pick up trash with me? Most people would be like, no, that doesn't sound fun at all. But while I'm doing it, I actually enjoy it. I do. I can say that I love it because I feel good about what I'm doing. And so there's an example of bringing love into something that normally it's like that's not something you would consider a loving act or something that like makes you feel love, you know, but it can. It's all about how you look at things. So this is where we're shifting into a time where we can look at that, and that where it's really our duty to ourselves and our evolution, our personal expansion, to look at that. What makes you feel alive? What makes you want to be on this planet? And that's part of your purpose. That's part of the reason that you came to be here. That's why you feel so strong about it. And guess what? It can change through life. It doesn't mean it's the same thing, you know? For those of you who know me and have been following me for a while, you know that I've had a clothing company, handmade clothing company. I've run kitchens, bakeries. You know, I've done all kinds of these different things. I make Glacia light artwork right now, resin and crystals and stuff. And then, of course, I do the life coaching and energy work and just all of these different things. So you can change paths, and I want to open my own restaurant. I do, in a tropical location though, because I want to have a lot of raw food. But that's coming up in my timeline. So, you know, you can make these choices though in your identity and who you are and what you're up to, and then you can change them and make different choices. And so becoming more fluid in your way of being and allowing your true self to lead, allowing your heart to lead, you know. That way, when we're moving into this new earth reality, we're doing it from a heart center and a higher consciousness center, rather, you know, the high heart center is higher than the crown chakra. And operating from there, you're actually anchoring in really high light frequencies when you're doing that, and you're helping other people around you activate, and you're living passionately. Passion is the energy of the high heart center. That's when you feel alive. You are like, this is it, you know? And it can be from a bunch of different things. It's not like, what's one thing that makes you feel alive and stick with that? No. What are all the things that make you feel alive? Can you list 200 things that make you feel alive? That's quite a challenge. 200 things that make you feel alive, you know? But this is really what we need to start focusing on as we move forward, because this heart-centered living, rather than this structured living of like creating more things, to consume more things, to, you know, kind of have this reality that we've been living in, well, it's just not working anymore, right? So it's time to shift into a different way of being. The Lionsgate portal is definitely offering that, okay? So what else is happening here? In August, once we get through the Lionsgate portal, we have to go through a period of readjustment, right? So this is the acclimation and integration period. So right now, from June, we've been breaking everything down, and my goodness, it's been so challenging. The symptoms have been all over the place, from flu-like symptoms to feeling lost, to having vertigo, dizziness, exhaustion, headaches, fatigue, nausea, vomiting, ringing in the ears, which is usually the frequency attacks and things like that. It's not a good thing. And then what else? The hot and cold, being really hot, then being cold. and epiphanies, some more symptoms, rashes, skin rashes, food sensitivities, insomnia, and then some people are just sleeping a ton, new psychic abilities coming online. So it sounds like I'm just naming all of them because that's kind of it. We're all over the place with these different symptoms. It's just that what August presents as its own thing is this Lionsgate portal that is a sort of realignment process, so we get to align with the timeline that we want to be on, you know, or further ourselves along in that timeline. Kind of like in June when we went through our cosmic birthday, we got to plant a seed. And now we're starting to see the leaves grow from that plant that we planted. And we're like, oh, look at this opportunity and this opportunity. And now this is lined up just right and that's lined up just right. And those are just the seeds growing on this tree that we've planted as this year's process or this year's progress, right? And things are going to get very intense as we start to experience more and more activation and awakening of the collective. The pushback can get a little bit more intense. And I don't want to talk about anything that brings up fear here, so I'm going to leave a lot of that stuff just out. Other people are talking about it, so I want to talk about the really amazing big breakthroughs that we get to have, okay? When we readjust our identity, every time we level up, we get a new set of challenges. And when we get this new set of challenges, we get opportunities to level up in all these different areas that the challenges are, right? When we level up in that area, it opens up our consciousness, and then we get another set of challenges. So we keep just activating and growing and expanding out. Now, with the timeline split, what we are experiencing is a lot of people who you didn't expect to be going in a direction that they're going in may start turning around. So when we're thinking about the timeline split, it makes a lot of people feel afraid that people they love are going to get left behind. Everybody is going to where they need to go. Okay, in the Ascension process, it's not about being left behind so much. Yes, there is a window of ascension. Yes, there is. There's an actual window of ascension that can be measured by time, right? Then either you're going through it or you're not. The window's either open or it's not open. It's open, so we can go through it, right? Or opening. It's preparing for us to move through. We're moving through it, right? So with that, many people are going through it, or people are choosing to leave their bodies. Now, if you think about this, a lot of people fear death. We've died so many times, we just get amnesia when we're born again that we forget about the death, okay? We already exist in the other realities. This is just one level of our awareness of our total being, okay? So when we're thinking about death, we get afraid, and it's mostly that the body doesn't want to die. Our consciousness never dies, and it's our consciousness that contains the memories. It's our consciousness that can get into more bodies, and it's our consciousness that allows us this progression through our personal evolution, right? And so when we look at death, a lot of people are like, oh, it's the worst thing that ever happened, you know? But really, it's just a transition. And that's something that a lot of people are going to be finding more peace with as well. Because when you clear the fear out of your root chakra and you remember that this whole ascension process is back into your eternal template, that's what you're ascending back into, you know? I really should make videos on what is ascension and really get to the very beginning. But just, I guess I'll answer that now. As we ascend, the ascension process is our ascension into our eternal template. So we're in a grid system that has multiple dimensions. And it's our universe, right? It's not the only universe, but this is our universe. And we have different levels of awareness within this different system. Now, we are ascending into the higher levels of awareness to reconnect with the totality of our being, because we've been kind of disconnected as a whole being, disconnected. So, like from our other soul aspects, I'll say, as a way to simplify it. So we're ascending back into the totality of our being, right? So you can't stay the same and change. Okay, so my friends, I could go on, and I'm not going to. I'm going to finish the rest up over on Patreon. So you can join me over there. And I am going to be starting to post the sovereignty course in my top tier, which gets access to the Q&A and the meditation and revocations and my blog and all that stuff. But I'm going to start sharing the sovereignty course on there, or at least clips from it, to just help out and get the videos out there. I don't want to share them here, so I'm going to share them there. So anyways, much love to you, my friends. I'm so happy to be here with you, and thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you for all that you do, all this inner work, all these challenges that you push through on a daily basis, and the clearing for yourself and for others, and the good intentions that you're putting in there into the timelines. Like, thank you. You're beautiful. You're such an amazing group of people, and I feel blessed to be connected with you. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful month of August.